He's not going to win MVP,
Yep.
but I think he should be in the discussion.
Sounds like a man I'm about to apologize to.
Chris Paul
Yep.
is having a sensational season.
Chris Paul, I'm sorry. And this is something nobody does on NBA Twitter. I'm apologizing for my previous remarks. Before John Wall got hurt and he and Chris Paul signed these gargantuan, at the time, contracts, I thought Chris Paul had the worst contract in basketball. Chris Paul making $41-ish million a year in his mid-30s and approaching his mid to late 30s. I was like,
Has already had the flashes of missing time because of these injuries that are
right. It was
nagging and constant.
And the narrative of can't get to the dance. You know, and I'm not one to buy into narratives like that. Like, it's a team sport. But Chris Paul has made every single team he's joined a better team. Every single franchise. If you look at the records the year before he was there and the year after, literally every single team, including the Rockets, which was a perennial playoff team, James Harden starring. I think he was coming off his MVP season when Paul joined. He won the
MVP with Chris Paul.
Okay. So I was off by a year. But there's an alternate universe where James Harden has at least 4 MVPs. And
don't do this to me. You know that it still hurts me that he didn't win it the year that Russ won it.
I mean, when Russ won over him, it was individual stats over team success. When Steph won it over him, it was team success over individual stats. It was like they changed the narrative for MVP every single year to not give it to James Harden. James Harden is the most gifted offensive player in the world. Top 5 all time, maybe offensively, I want to say. And that's like, if we're talking, it's like Kobe, Wilt, Michael Jordan, maybe KD. Like, that's where James Harden is. Appreciate the greatness. And I'm a diehard Knicks fan, and it pains me to watch the Nets be so great. But James Harden, there are 3 guys who have led the league in points per game and assists per game. And it's Russ, the Big O, Oscar Robertson, and James Harden. Wilt had a season where he had the most total assists, and he won all the scoring titles. But
right.
Like, James Harden's about to get his second assist title. He's got 2 scoring titles under his belt. He's got the highest scoring average in my lifetime, and I watched Kobe drop 35 a game. Like, appreciate this. And it's nuts because the way he does it, some people hate. I think it's fantastic. But enough about James Harden. We're talking about Chris Paul.
Yeah, and the reason why I bring up Chris Paul is because
Phoenix
is, I think, a team that we should take seriously.
Yeah? Well, listen, we've been waiting for Devin Booker to have this opportunity.
Right.
Because everyone knows he's been a killer since he got in the league.
Well, he's also been playing out of position because they haven't had a guy to...
He's had to be an everything guard.
Right.
Or, when Ricky was there, it didn't. It was fun, but it wasn't winning basketball.
Now he's playing where he should have been playing all this time. So they're 35-14 at the time we're recording. They're on a 6-game winning streak. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. I want to just step away from that for a second. And the reason why I'm saying Chris Paul is because you look at this team since Devin Booker got there. 24 wins, no playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
21 wins, no playoffs. 19 wins, no playoffs. 34 wins last year. But is it fair to say that was the COVID year? That was they got hot in the bubble. Remember they won.
They went undefeated in the bubble.
They were like 8 or 9-0 in the bubble.
Right.
So basically, you're looking at a team that had 26 wins last year. That was an anomaly.
Shortened
getting
season,
hot,
but yeah,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they come in this year. They're 35-14. They're 2.5 games back of the Jazz. What's different, bro? It's Chris Paul.
It's Chris Paul. It's 100% Chris Paul.
And you look at where the Thunder are at, right? And I know SGA got hurt a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I know that they're really just like, let's just get a shitload of draft picks. They got 17 first-round picks, 17 second-round picks over the next, 6 years. So they don't want to win. But you look at, how bad the Thunder are. The Thunder do last year, plus 210. My buddy Marco, he was on the pod. He's like, yo, it's my favorite to make the playoff bet in the league. We bet it last year when they made the playoffs. It's because of Chris Paul. This year, the Suns, as a top 3 seed. I made a case for Devin Booker at the start of the year. I was like, yo, he's 50-1 to win the MVP. Not that he's MVP now, but I was like, yo, there's some parallels to Chris Paul going to Houston and James Harden winning it, and he really just needed a guy to take a little bit off the load for him, focus only on the scoring. So I was like, yo, he's my favorite long shot bet on the board.
Yeah.
But then I didn't even think about Chris Paul. Now, he's not going to be in the running. I'm saying that
he's going to finish probably top 5.
He should.
Yeah.
I think he should be all NBA.
It's going to be like he's going to be all NBA.
Maybe not first team because the guards.
Who would be over him for the guards? Well, Harden,
Dame, Curry.
Dame.
Curry's having a monster year.
He is. But
it depends if he doesn't play again. Like if he misses more games.
Team success too. Like I mean,
That's
true.
True.
and he's had an injury plagued season. Like Chris Paul's balling. I got this. I pulled up my own tweet. I'm not to pat myself on the back, but the only point guard with a higher career win percentage without a championship than Chris Paul is Kevin Johnson. CP3's records before and after joining a team. Before with the Hornets, 18-64. His first year, 38-44. Clippers before, 32-50. After, 40-26. Rockets before, 55-27. After, 65-17. Thunder, 49-33. After, 44-28. Shortened season, higher winning percentage. Mm-hmm. This year, the Suns were 34-39, and right now they're 30,
in the COVID season, yeah.
And right now
they're 35-14. Yeah,
they have
higher
more
win percentage
in fewer games.
Yeah,
they already exceeded last year's win total in fewer games. Like, come on, man. They're the second seed. They got an opportunity to really make some noise in the playoffs.
Yo, how about this? What a matchup that might be in the first round. Mavs Suns.
I pray the Mavs lose some more games. I want a lottery pick this year as a Knicks fan.
That's true.
You know what? I think there is opportunity for the Knicks to trade up in the draft, and it's a stacked draft. Like, do we want 2 picks in the teens, or do we want to trade up and package something to potentially get a top 5 pick? Would someone trade that? I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's going to be a possibility, but it's going to be a really interesting draft.
Are you worried about some of these injuries for the Lakers? Because they're starting to slip. They're the 5 seed. They're only 3 games ahead of the Mavericks. Like, listen, I know ultimately you just want LeBron and AD to be healthy, and I get it. But, man, you're talking about a route that you might have to take where they potentially might play the Clippers in the first round, bro.
That's 7 home games.
So you play, but that's a team you would want to play a little bit later on. So you're thinking about like Clippers in the first round, maybe a Suns second round.
The way I look at those situations where like they could fall to 7, right? You don't want to fall to 7 because then you have a play-in game and then it's like you got to win 1 or you're out because they have the 7 to 10.
Yeah, and then 8-9
play-in. And if you're the 7 or 8 seed, you only have to win 1 game. Right. So it's a nice little gauntlet. You know, I like the
that's how Portland got in last year.
Right.
Interesting, man.
It's exciting.
Think about it. It gave a lot of teams life at the end, which is dope. It's like that second wild card in baseball.
Basketball playoffs are like baseball playoffs in the sense that it's all about who gets hot. Now, I do not want to face LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the first round if I'm any team. I don't think I'm the favorite. I could be Denver. I could be Phoenix, I could be any of these teams. I do not want to see LeBron James or I don't want to see Anthony Davis tipping off against us. That's a scary sight. And there are no first round exits for LeBron. That's not going to happen. That might happen. No, it's not going to happen. It's really not going to happen. So, it's just a matter of the severity of these injuries because, like, they might hedge this year and say like, "Yo, let's build for next year." It's unlikely, but if one of the two of them aren't right, then they're in trouble. If they both get right for the playoffs, then to me they're the favorite in the West.